Hi, this is Chef Jessica Leibovich, and you are listening to the Prosperous Personal Chef podcast. I have over 2 decades of experience owning a personal chef business, and I will be sharing everything I know and more to help you start and sustain a prosperous personal chef business. Hi, Chef Jessica here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about something a little bit different than I have in the past. But it's very important to listen, and I'll tell you why. We're going to be talking about managing your stress as a chef, and we're going to be talking about it in a way that it relates to the growth of your career. This may sound counterintuitive or like these things are not aligned. But believe it or not, they actually are. Managing stress is such a major part of being a chef. I'm sure if you're a chef, you have a lot of responsibilities. You wear a lot of different hats, and you may be suffering from physical health issues, mental health issues, or possibly you and your family have some friction or disagreement regarding your work. This is not an uncommon problem with chefs. This happens more often than not, in fact. When we become a chef, whether we went to culinary school or not, we usually do this because we love cooking for other people. We love serving other people, and it makes us feel good to create things and serve them to people and then to get feedback on that, hopefully positive feedback. That's a wonderful feeling, and that's why a lot of times people get into being a chef. But unfortunately, the reality is so much different. Being a chef is literally one of the most stressful careers on the planet. And that may seem like an over-exaggeration, but these days, with all the different types of dietary restrictions, with food allergies that can be life-threatening, with supply issues that are, basically shutting down the entire supply chain, with products not being available that were readily available before, and then the cherry on top, the staffing issues. All of these things have created this perfect storm that took a industry that was already a stressful industry and made it almost unbearable. And this is the reason why I created the Prosperous Personal Chef online course and why I coach people and help them start their personal chef businesses. Because I want to show them a better way. There's nothing more that makes me more happy than helping chefs do what they love to do and make a good income at it. But let's face it, not everybody can start a personal chef business right away. And managing stress is still very important as a chef. So I wanted to include some content on my channel that is helpful with this, because this is something that I have made a priority in my own career, and I want to share with you the things that have worked for me. I never realized how incredibly stressful this industry could be when I first got into it almost 25 years ago. But now, looking back, I see that managing stress is one of the number one things that you need to do to protect your career as a chef and to be able to grow in a healthy way and to have the coveted work-life balance. So how do you do this? When you have more things to do than time in your day, when you have problem after problem, crisis after crisis, and it just seems like you can't catch a break or take a breath. I'm going to give you a few things that are important to consider, and we can go from there. The very first thing that you must do, and it's so important, and it's the one thing that chefs do not do more often than not, is to put your health first. To put your physical and mental health first, above everything. Because if you don't have your health, you can't work. So having your health is more important than making your bosses happy or solving problems at work. What does this mean? It means don't put off that doctor appointment that you need to have. If you have a skin problem or consistent headaches or stomach aches or any other persistent health problem that you've been ignoring, this is your sign to go put yourself first and get it taken care of. There is no excuse. Literally nothing is more important than your health. And no matter what anybody at your work says to you, this is about you and growing your career. Because if you're not healthy, you cannot give your best at work. You cannot have the best performance that you've wanted to have. You're going to be always stressed out and you're not going to be able to work at your maximum performance. So putting your health first is number one. The number two thing that you can do to manage your stress is to protect your boundaries. Now, this is such an important part for chefs. Protecting your boundaries is something that gets easier with time, but in the beginning, it can be really challenging. And let me tell you a little bit about protecting your boundaries. Protecting your boundaries is that moment when you, in your mind, feel that you are doing more than you should. And we all know what that feels like. We have our reasons in our head why we should not be doing what we're doing, or why it is possibly not our responsibility, or it's something that has gone on too long that you've sort of let happen and you know it's not a good idea. These are the things that we need to communicate effectively and not do. So, your boss asks you to come in and do inventory on your day off. If that was your day off and that was scheduled, you don't need to come in and do inventory, no matter how bad he makes you feel about it. It's not your responsibility. If it needs to be done, it should be scheduled during a work hour. It should not be scheduled during your off time. This goes the same if you need time off, or if you want to use your PTO, or if you need to leave early for whatever reasons. This is normal things that happen in everyday life. Now, of course, there are limitations. You don't want to be that person that's leaving early every single day. But if you never leave early and your car needs to be looked at, then you need to set your boundaries and say, I need to leave early. Or if you always feel like you're picking up slack for your coworker who takes the extra long lunch, those boundaries need to be communicated and set. Setting your boundaries is so important as a chef because it really establishes clear guidelines for your position, and it allows other people to do what they are responsible for and you to focus on what you're responsible for. The third thing that is so important for managing stress as a chef, and there are other things, but these are my top three, but the third thing is self-care. Self-care is crucial as a chef, and self-care is doing what makes you feel good. Self-care could be taking a bath. Self-care could be walking your dog. Self-care could be taking a nap. Self-care is not going to get your nails done or your hair done. That is not self-care. Self-care is something that really gives back and nurtures your soul and helps restore your energy. By doing this, you're filling your cup and you're able to give more when you're back at work. You're able to do your best and you fully recharge on the time that you have to recharge instead of just halfway recharging and going back and feeling like a slug again. Now, if you can do these three things, you will see a shift in your happiness. I promise. And not only that, it will help you grow your career. And that's because you will not be picking up other people's slack. You will not be defined by trying to do everything at once. You will be defined by what you are supposed to do and doing it well. And you will not be giving too much of yourself. You will be healthy. You will be strong. And you will be communicating effectively. So don't forget these three things in your career as a chef. And if there's any one of them that you know instinctively you're not doing right now, make a promise to yourself to change that one thing and make it a priority. So number one, we talked about putting your health first. You know when you're not feeling your best. You know what's been bothering you. You know if you've been ignoring something. Don't do it anymore. Put your health first and get it taken care of. Number two is setting your boundaries. You know when you're doing more than you should be. You know if you're picking up other people's slack. And you know if you're being taken advantage of. So communicate effectively to those who you need to communicate to and set your boundaries and don't get pushed over anymore. The third thing is self-care. Fill your cup, restore your energy, and give back to yourself so you feel like yourself again. By doing these three things, you're going to be able to be a better chef. You're going to be able to be a better, whatever it is, whether you're a parent or a partner, whatever it is, you are going to be better at it. You're going to be happier at it, and you're going to be more clear-headed about the situation that you're in right now in your career, and if it's the right situation for you or if you're ready to make a change. If you like this, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments how you nurture yourself. How do you practice self-care? What are some ways that you have set boundaries in your job? And also, have you put yourself first? And if you have, has it made a difference? I can't wait to hear from you. Have a wonderful day, and as always, be prosperous. This is Chef Jessica Leibovich, and thank you for listening to the Prosperous Personal Chef podcast. If you want to know more about growing a prosperous personal chef business, be sure to sign up for my free masterclass at www.chefjessica.com. I hope you have enjoyed what you have heard and gained a bit of wisdom on growing your personal chef business. If so, please share it with others so they can grow their business as well. That's all for this episode. See you next time.